I feel like a maestro. Hey there, hello, everybody! Welcome to yet another full-on fun episode of your favorite show, BYJU'S Excel Masterclass, all-round learning. अरे यहीं पे तो we meet, learn from and get inspired by experts in the fields of science, technology, engineering, art and mathematics, STEAM. यहीं पे तो क्लासरूम के बाहर we don't go outside the classroom. We learn beyond the classroom. We understand how all the concepts that you learn in class come together in the real world. यार आज का सेशन जो है ना इतना स्पेशल होने वाला है क्योंकि ये लास्ट एपिसोड ऑफ सीजन 1 ऑफ BYJU'S एक्सेल मास्टर क्लास है. अभी तक हमने 18 सेशन करे हुए हैं, 18 सेशंस where we've learned and met with experts from different fields like men's cricket, oceanography, badminton, rocket science, drones, cinema, forensic sciences, coding, sensors, airplanes, robotics, chess, robotics, culinary sciences, animatronics, women's cricket, and photography. क्या मस्त सीजन था ना. इन सारे डोमेन्स में से हम फंडे निकाले, तोड़ मरोड़ किए, मेल झेल किए. वी फाउंड कनेक्शंस बिटवीन डिफरेंट आइडियाज, ब्रोक थिंग्स ओपन, डिड अ लॉट ऑफ एक्सपेरिमेंट्स ना, एंड हैड अ ट्रक लोड ऑफ फन. आज हम क्या करने वाले हैं, ये रैप सीजन रैप सेशन में वी आर गोना गो आउट विद अ बैंग. Whether you're a music lover or a math buff or just someone who's curious, ये सेशन आप ही के लिए बना है, बट खाली आपके लिए नहीं. It is much more fun excelling with your friends and family. So get everybody to register at byju'sexcel.com. अभी 2 मिनट के मैं तो बस बकवास करने वाला हूँ. Call your friends, call your family, ask them to go register now. अभी भी वो लोग register करके ये session join कर सकते हैं. साथ ही साथ में बैठ के देखो तुम लोग, और देखना ही नहीं, you'll have to participate also, okay? Cause अभी time क्या हो रहा है? Let's not wait any further. It is time for us to excel!
Knowledge is key, knowledge is power. Let the fire in your heart burn with desire. Don't be afraid to take the steps, set out and excel. Dare to excel, we dare to excel. Never भरोसा, उस पर भरोसा, वक्त का साथ, तकदीर बदलना है.
सुपर फनी हैपेंड क्योंकि अभी जो एक्सेल थीम सॉन्ग चल रहा था ना, तुम लोग के बारे में तो पता नहीं, मेरे को ऑडियो सुनाई नहीं दे रहा था. ये साउंड और म्यूजिक का सेशन और मेरे को म्यूजिक सुनाई नहीं दे रहा, तो मेरे को लगा यार क्या दिक्कत आ गई. बट नॉट टू वरी, जो भी दिक्कत आए, डेयर टू एक्सेल, डेयर टू बी क्यूरियस एंड डेयर टू एक्सप्लोर द वंडर्स ऑफ ऑल थिंग्स अराउंड. साउंड. I can see that इतने सारे लोग ज्वाइन कर लिए, waiting for the session to start. Are you guys studying in ICSE और CBSE? मैं तो टीचिंग करता हूँ यार, दोनों होते हैं. Can't wait for the expert नहीं, experts आने वाला है. फिलहाल we're talking about music. We all love listening to music, right? मतलब इतना calming experience है. अपने tradition का thousands of years से अपने culture में है ये music. Isn't that fascinating? Listening to music, I listen to it to cheer myself up and maybe do a couple of dance moves sometimes. Some others might use it just to chill, relax, or recall some very special moments that they've had in life. आप लोग को म्यूजिक क्यों पसंद है? Tell me in the comments below. You are so awesome, Dinesh. So are you, dude. Why do you like music? बताओ. It is super duper fun. Yes. Music makes you dance. Yes. It makes my little daughter dance for sure. Beats are really cool. Right? so many reasons to love music, but music hota kya hai? What exactly is music? What makes music so powerful and universal? ये सब जानने के लिए we've invited two incredibly talented musicians who are taking the world by storm with their music. Bindu Subramaniam and Mahesh Raghavan. Put your hands together and welcome them in! Oh! Mahesh, Bindu, welcome to BYJU'S XL Masterclasses.
Thank
How do you like
you.
being here in the studio?
This is amazing.
Nice. We're very, very, very excited to learn from you. So students, छोटा सा थोड़े चीज बता देता हूँ. बिंदु जी जो है, she is an entrepreneur, a singer, songwriter, and educator. You're the lead vocalist of Subramania and the Tair Sadam project. Ooh, Tair Sadam. And Mahesh jo hai, music producer and composer. He is really well known for his music videos on YouTube. He fuses traditional Indian music with modern technology to create something truly magical. So well, aap dono, you guys know each other for such a long time and you've worked together for such a long time. I can keep talking on and on and on because there's so much to say about the both of you, but can you tell us about each other? Bindu, can you tell us something about Mahesh that we don't know or maybe Mahesh doesn't want us to know?
Well, there are a couple of things. One, and I'll tell you at home, Mahesh is amazing on the iPad and he really loves it. And Ashwin, here's a secret for you. Mahesh is an anti-vegetable activist.
Anti-vegetable activist?
Yes.
A vegetarian who is anti-vegetable? So,
I
bas
just,
pani peete ho?
I just don't like to eat so many
He's a
vegetables.
pastatarian.
A pastatarian, that is so rad. So, Mahesh, about Bindu?
Yeah, so Bindu, she's wonderful. She's my sister. And of course, she loves cats. Yeah, she has 5 cats at home. And of course, she also loves vegetables. Apart from that, Bindu runs an extremely wonderful organization called SAPA.
Sapa. It's like, Sapa. What is
Exactly.
Sapa? What do you guys do there?
Well, SAPA stands for Subramaniam Academy of Performing Arts. And we try to do 2 things there. One is to create the next generation of amazing musicians. Many of them are probably listening. And the second thing is like what you do with learning. We want every child to fall in love with music.
That is so beautiful. Falling in love with music, falling in love with learning. Awesome. Bindu, Mahesh, we are super duper excited. In this BYJU'S XL series, right, we have a tradition out here. Why don't we introduce you to that tradition? So our students, right, they do a lot of questions and answers along with watching amazing videos and learning from amazing teachers. Here's a slight little test for you because I need to know that you guys are ready for our students because they're all here waiting eagerly to learn from you. This segment that we call Pass the Hurdle.
Okay, let's
Nice.
try.
It's actually quite straightforward. I'll have a question for you.
Okay.
And you have to give me the right answer to it. That's as easy as that. And आप लोग के लिए comment section में देखो या फिर अपनी screen के एक छोटे से pop-up में होगा corner में. You can also participate in this Pass the Hurdle as a poll question, all right? Take it along with our guests. And could we have the question on screen, please? Nice. So there are 2 visuals on the screen. There's speaker 1 and speaker 2. And it looks like something's happening. So they're producing sound, right? So the question to the both of you, which of these speakers is producing a louder sound?
Louder sound.
louder
Sound
sound.
to baj nahi raha hai, but there's enough information there maybe. Let's see what the options are. Speaker 1 is louder. Speaker 2 is louder, option B. Option C, both are equally as loud. And option D, यहाँ पे जो दिखाया गया है, can't be determinant with this information. So what do you think the answer is going to be? What do you guys think the answer is going to be? Get your poll questions going. चलो poll काम नहीं कर रहा, comment में डाल दो यार. What exactly is it? Steam is always super fun. Answer बताओ. Kevin B, Jake A, Sudhanshu B, Devanshi B, Kinjal B, Bonnie A, Aman B. Okay, get the poll also going. Do we have the poll results in as yet? Okay. It looks like you guys had some sneaky little discussion out here. I think you figured the answer out. What do you guys think the answer is?
We think the answer is B, speaker 2 is louder.
Nice. B, speaker 2 is louder. So what do the poll results say? Interesting. Looks like most of the viewers are concurring with you. So, B, speaker 2 is louder. Let's. तो computer जी answer lock किया जाए. B, speaker 2 is louder. And that's the right answer. Way to go. Well played. Nice. ये तो directly music के domain में नहीं था, but how do you guys figure this out? How do you know that B is the right answer?
So both of us noticed that there is a red line of dots, and that was moving a lot more than speaker 1. So that's why we thought speaker 2 is louder.
That is super duper cool. Now, ये सब physics हम लोग explore करने वाले हैं. All those dots that you saw next to the speakers, right? Think of them as air particles. And वो जो red था, that was able to help us see कि air particles कितना move कर रहे हैं. That's how sound propagation happens. ये तो आज सीखने ही वाले हैं. Now, students, everybody who's watching, we have some amazing fun ways of learning on BYJU'S the Learning app. Download karo, you can get some amazing gamified learning experiences, beautiful videos, all so that you, like Bindu said, fall in love with learning. So let's get started. क्या हम बता सकते हैं, what is it that we're going to be exploring over the next few minutes with our students?
Well, we've planned a really fun session today for you and all of you at home.
We'll be taking you through the physics of sound first.
We'll also learn all about music and musical instruments.
And we'll also explore the math in music.
But we've saved the best for last. A super fun live performance with us
That is...
and the BYJU'S Band!
Oh, the BYJU'S Band! That is super duper incredible. What a collaborative jam fest this is going to be. Super. Let's get this party going. Where do we start?
First, I have a question for our students. Please leave your answers in the comments. It's a really simple one. What is sound?
Well, that's a lovely question, Bindu. What is sound? चलो चलो बताओ उसमें dancer. Sid, dance नहीं हो रहा. Music performance हो रहा है. अभी बताओ, what is sound? We're getting sound is noise. Okay, while the students are saying all the things that they're saying in the comments, Mahesh, let me ask you a question. I loved that you said we're going to be exploring the physics of science. I like the sound of that. What is it that we're going to do there?
I like what you did there, but to understand the physics of sound, we should start by first answering Bindu's question. I think that's a good way to go.
So what is sound? So I see that some said sound is ear, sound is vibrations. Huh.
Wow.
Something that is loud, it is noise. Beautiful answers, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sound is something that our ears can hear, right? So our ears are sensitive to sound. When something makes a sound, it's essentially creating vibrations in the air, and these vibrations get picked up by our sensitive ears.
That is super duper cool. Just like what we saw in Pass the Hurdle, but exactly what is vibration? What's vibrating?
Let me show you. Okay? So I have this simple cellophane here. Mahesh, I'm going to give that to you. Ashwin, I'm going to give you a cup of salt.
Salt.
And I have a speaker. That's for experimenting, not eating. Can I trust you with this?
Yes, please.
Okay.
What do I do with this?
All right. So you're going to sprinkle the salt carefully over the cellophane evenly. Students at home, I'm sure you can see that this is just basic cling film, and he's sprinkling salt over it. I have a speaker, and with this speaker, I'm going to play something. Can you see? The salt is dancing better than I can.
Wow. That is
Yeah.
super duper cool. Wow, I can actually see that happening there. The salt was vibrating with the cling film. But how exactly did this happen again?
I think the important thing to remember is that the speaker wasn't actually touching the cling film.
All right, so the speaker was producing sound and there was air between, air everywhere. So the sound was carried as vibrations through the air, and the air particles were hitting the cling film and making it vibrate.
Exactly.
And that was making the salt dance.
So it's really important to remember that if there was no air, this wouldn't have happened. What I'm trying to say is that sound needs a medium to travel. The wave of sound is essentially vibrating air particles.
That is super cool. Now, when we say wave of sound, right, the energy travels as a wave, but the particles are simply just vibrating. And by the way, ye sound waves, jo hai na, it's not like waves like ripples of water. It's actually waves that are happening in this manner. Let's say sound is traveling this way. What do we mean by that? Energy is traveling as a wave in this direction. That's happening because particles are vibrating along the direction of sound.
Yes.
Thoda technical ho gaya, haan?
So let me help you visualize that wave better. So what I have here is called a slinky. It's a toy. Now think of each coil as particles in thin air. Yeah. So now let's see what happens when we play a sound. So I'm just going to move my hand.
Whoa!
Yeah. Do you see what's happening?
Yeah, there's something moving from your hand there along the length of the spring or slinky.
Exactly. So when sound waves move through air and cause the air molecules to vibrate back and forth.
That is super cool. So the wave looks like it's moving, but each
Exactly.
coil is kind of just vibrating about its own position, right?
Exactly. So that's how sound
Beautiful.
works.
And this basically, when you're producing the sound or when you're saying it, you're causing the particles in the air to vibrate, and that's how I'm able to hear it through my ears.
Yeah.
That is so amazing. But tell me something. When you speak, I know that it's Mahesh speaking. When you speak, I know that it's Bindu speaking. Why is that difference happening?
So that's a very interesting question. But before we get to that, let's explore a few fundamentals of sound. So I'm going to bring the slinky back here. There's something called frequency. So frequency is how many times the air molecules vibrate in a second. So for example, so if I do
Air
that.
collapsed.
Exactly. So if I move this once per second, yeah, that's a frequency of 1.
Oh,
Now,
so that's so cool. So you're saying that you're creating that disturbance, which is moving once every second.
exactly. Now, what if I move it twice every second? So the vibrations happened twice
That is
a
so
second.
cool. So parts where they're compressed and parts they were pulled apart, that's moving twice every second.
Exactly. Now I can also do this 5 times a second.
So now the frequency is 5.
Exactly.
Five what though?
Yeah. So the frequency is measured in a unit called hertz.
Like a sound hurts us?
Does it hurt?
Yeah. No, actually, it's named after the scientist Hertz.
So that is hertz. Vibrations per second is what hertz is.
Vibrations per second.
We could actually make a graphical plot to visualize this.
Right, because vibrations, right? Have you guys heard of a seismograph? That's basically something that helps us understand earthquakes, right? Could we have that in here, please? I built a small model of a seismograph. Let's call this a sound graph, maybe.
Looks
So-
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's quite straightforward actually, and I'm actually going to pull my phone out as well. Can you guys see what I'm seeing through my phone? Are you able to see this? Yes, awesome. So here I have a graph paper which has a pen to it, right? Now, if you look here, this pen is attached to a balloon, which is attached to a box, which is attached to a speaker. Now, the speaker obviously is sending sound in this direction because it's facing that way, which means all particles are going to be vibrating in this manner, right? When they're vibrating in this manner, the balloon will also start vibrating in this manner. That means the pen will also start vibrating in this manner. Now, what will happen if I cause this guy to roll around? The pen will actually make a mark on the paper. And now we can visualize it in the form of a wave. Aane wala hai, thoda time karo, sabar karo. It'll look like a wave that we all recognize, right? Like this. Okay, let's actually do that. I have this tablet out here just to tell you what the speaker is going to do. Let's say I do this. Okay, irritating sound aa raha hai na? That's what this device is helping me produce. Great. Bindu, why don't you play a nice frequency that you think is useful?
All right.
And let me record this guy. And hold on. Let
Tell me when
start
you're
this.
ready.
There you go.
Let's stop.
Let me take a photo of this, please. All right, stop. Great. So now, check this out. This is how the waves were happening, right? If you look at it, it's happening at about one. Oh, you look at this one unit cell. Now, I know the photo is not very clear, but if you look at this unit cell right now, you can see that there are about 1, 2, 3, 4 of those wavy patterns happening inside of one unit cell.
Each box.
So
right?
can I kind of say that the frequency at which this was vibrating is at, I don't know if it's 4 hertz, but at least it's 4 waves per cell.
4
Yeah.
waves per cell.
Yeah, let's call it 4 waves per
Let's
cell.
call it that.
So now if you change the frequency, ideally it should have either more or less. What are you going to be doing right now? Reducing or increasing the frequency?
I'm going to increase it a bit. Let's see.
Can we
maybe-
roll it down maybe to 40 or so?
Well, that was 40, so shall
Oh,
we
that
do
was 40.
80
Super.
then?
Let's do 80 then. And let me just get this camera back on. And let me start this graph paper. Wow. Oh yeah, let's stop. Oh, that
That's
was
kind of like
fun.
managing a race car, wasn't it?
That was. Whoa, check this out. Now it's actually got so many more of these guys in. So it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 almost. Okay, what was the previous one? This guy had, so evidently there are one left, right. So that's 2 waves happening here. And in this other one, there are, look at that, 4 of these waves happening here. I can have them side by side. So you said you increased it. The one on the left is at lower frequency and the one on the right is at higher frequency because there are more waves per cell.
Exactly. I actually doubled it. So we started off at 40 hertz and we went to 80.
80 hertz. Nice. That is so cool. And the waves actually move from 2 per cell to 4 per cell. That also doubled.
Yeah.
That is so cool. What a beautiful way to visualize this stuff. Okay. But how does this work in music? I mean, we don't go around measuring waves in music. Can we have this off of screen, please? Yeah.
So in music, we call this pitch. So I can sing a low pitch like this.
Oh, I did notice it in that
Yeah,
sound as well.
exactly,
The lower one
yeah.
was and the higher one was slightly.
So a low pitch, something like, that's a low pitch sound. Or I can sing a high pitch. Versus. So it's like a low pitch and a high pitch. We have multiple pitches in music.
Isn't that so beautiful? Pitch is the musical experience and its physical experience is frequency.
Exactly.
Low pitch, low frequency. High pitch, high frequency.
Perfect.
Nice. Okay. Is that how all of your sa-re-ga-ma, each one is different by its frequency that's increasing?
Yes. And we'll go a little deeper into that later.
Nice. Sure.
Before we do, I want to show you another cool feature of sound. Ashwin, can you tell me the difference between la 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 and la 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 la?
The second one was louder, right? Like you were angry at me or something. Second one was louder. Louder. So loudness is also, like pitch up and down, loudness also went
Exactly.
low to high.
Loudness is another feature that helps us differentiate between sounds.
Interesting.
And that is determined by a concept in physics
physics.
called?
Amplitude.
Exactly.
Nice. We actually saw amplitude in Pass the Hurdle, by the way, right? The particles that were moving much more were actually of higher amplitude, and the particles in speaker 1 which were moving a lot lesser, that was lower amplitude. That's why speaker 2 was louder. And I believe we can also see this in that slinky that you had done earlier.
Yes. So if you can see the slinky right here, so I can move it softly, or I can go crazy with this.
Wow, that is crazy.
So yeah, if a sound plays softly,
So now
like
the
that.
compressions are very little, the oscillation or the vibration is very little.
Exactly. And now it's just oscillating a lot more, like speaker 2 did.
That is super duper cool.
Yes.
Now where it's compressed is more compressed, where it's expanded is more expanded in a louder sound.
Exactly.
That is amazing. So frequency, the physics, gave pitch, the musical experience. Amplitude, the physics, was related to loudness, the musical experience, or the sound experience.
Absolutely. I think you've got it.
So, hum abhi ready hai?
Yeah.
Let's go for it. Let's do the music.
All right, let's go.
Nice. I like it. Chalo, music karte hain. I will join you guys there. Sound. Essentially, let me come back here. So, kya hai? Sound is essentially created by vibrations that travel like a wave. The energy is carried as a wave, but that wave happens because particles are oscillating about one another. Sound requires a medium to travel. We saw two physics properties: frequency, which is the number of vibrations happening in 1 second, measured in hertz. We saw amplitude, which is how far or what is the distance that vibration happens for. And that translates to pitch, frequency, and loudness has amplitude as a part of it. Okay, Bindu, Mahesh, what are we going to do next? Amazing. So we're going to be learning about, like you said, instruments.
Pretty cool. And there's nowhere better to learn about instruments than
Inside
of
an
an
instrument.
instrument. I see what you did there, and I'm not amused.
Okay, great. I see some stuff happening out here. How are these all instruments?
Yes. Let me start by walking you through them. Do you mind handing me that thing that looks like a pipe over there?
Okay.
All right. So what I have here looks like a simple plastic tube, right?
Right.
So if I'm going to tap you with it, or tap it on your own hand, let's see.
This one
Yeah,
sounds like a pipe.
yeah, you hear a sound.
Yeah.
If I take it and you get the same sound,
It is the same sound. Huh.
right? Mahesh, let me give you this one.
Okay.
Try it out.
Oh,
Yeah, that sounds different.
So you've got two pipes that, apart from the different color, are giving you different sounds. Why do you think they sound different?
Hey, 1 second. This one's a lot longer than that one. They differ in size.
Let's bring it closer. Mahesh, come over here. Yeah.
Okay. So the longer pipe is making a lower sound than the shorter pipe. Wow.
But actually, it's the column of air inside the pipe that determines whether it's higher or lower. So in the longer pipe, you have a longer column of air.
Ah, interesting. What is this little guy here for? I mean, just came along with it.
Well, so if you wanted to try to shorten the column of air,
Oh, I can plug it
would
up
you-
here.
exactly.
So when I plug this guy in, this much of the column of air is now not available. So I'm guessing the length of the air column has reduced, which means higher sound pitch, lower pitch sound. That is so cool. So
Beautiful.
if I can do this only, why do I need so many different pipes?
So this way you standardize the pitch. So when I hit this tube, whether I hit it on your hand
Okay.
or on my hand, or Mahesh again one more time, it always sounds the same.
Nice.
Now-
Beautiful.
I know many of you at home won't have these, but you might have
me put
something else. You know what, one of these? Have you seen one of these before, Ashwin?
ये तो rubber band है. सब
Exactly.
पहनते हैं, सब use करते हैं.
Very simple rubber band. Now, Mahesh, can you hold one end of it?
okay.
Now, what happens?
Give me a second. Here, I think we have another mic.
Check, check, check.
Right? Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, now if we stretch the rubber band a bit,
That sounds different. I'm not able to classify exactly, but that sounds different. When you stretch it, it's different. And when it's not stretched, it's different.
again, the same principle. So when you stretch it longer, your pitch is going to get. Let me show you with some
saw another
other
rubber band out
toy
here.
that I have here.
But this is more fancy. This rubber band is like in a box or something.
Okay, if it's more fancy, how about you pluck it?
Okay.
Let's see.
Ooh.
Pretty cool.
Now this sounds nicer than just the rubber band there. It sounds sort of more fuller.
It does. And here's the trick. When you're hearing it on this, you're not just hearing the rubber band vibrate, but you're hearing the box or the body vibrate as well, because when you're plucking the string, not only does the string vibrate, but the body and the air around it.
That is so cool. So the vibrating string is making all the things that are attached to it also to vibrate. That's another phenomenon in physics, by the way. Oh, so when you had the rubber band stretched in your fingers, it was your fingers.
Yeah.
Now this was a box, and that's why it sounded different also.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Now, I have this.
I can hold this for
It's
you.
a guitar.
Yeah. So we have two kinds of guitars right here. One with
We are a rubber band.
Oh, that's a rubber band guitar, guys. Can you see that?
Rubber band
It's a
band.
guitar shape with a rubber, 3 different rubber bands. Huh.
Yes, and this is a regular guitar.
guitar.
Now, if I play a string on this guitar, that sounds like a normal guitar string, but
Right.
over there,
Oh, wait. Oh, that sounds so different. Hey, but each of the 3 rubber bands sounds different from that rubber band
yes,
because you've stretched it differently.
exactly. And also, this rubber band is making this body of the guitar
Vibrate.
vibrate.
Right.
And this steel string right here is making this guitar vibrate, and both of them are different.
All right. So the material that the string is made of is different in both of these cases.
Exactly.
And the way the box is shaped and the materials used on the box are also different.
Exactly.
Nice. That's making a different sound come out from each of these.
Yes. And now, this guitar has 6 strings, right?
So are they all stretched differently? Is that why they sound different? Or
No, so they are all the same length, but what if, just listen when I play all of the 6 strings one after the other. What did you notice?
it went from low frequency to high frequency?
Yes, so they are
the
playing.
same length though.
There's the
But
same length, but
when you change the length, it's supposed to change, right?
yes, but look closer. So this string is a lot thicker.
thicker.
It's thicker. So the thickness of the string also plays a role, and the material also plays a role in what pitch comes out when you stretch it.
Wow, that's so many things happening there. So what is vibrating? The material that it's made of, the size that it has,
Exactly.
makes a different sort of note, if you will, and what it's attached to, the shape of the thing that it's attached to, the materials that are made that it's attached to, and the fact that when you pluck, all of the things are vibrating in unison, that also creates different kinds of sounds.
Exactly.
And that's
that.
how we make instruments. But why are these guitars shaped like a guitar and not like a box?
Okay.
So, I mean, I guess sometimes you wonder why an instrument looks like it does. And, I mean, the easy answer would be because it looks cool, but
Yeah,
that's
some
not.
fancy designer chose that this is how it's going to look.
But if you look at a guitar or a violin or any other instrument, there's so much thinking that has gone into what it should look like so that you get the best sound out of it.
Okay?
So in this guitar that we're standing in, or this guitar that Mahesh is playing, it's the strings, it's the body, it's the air. And so the shape, the body, the strings, everything is designed to give you this beautiful sound that sounds like a guitar.
That is so cool. So we're taking the fact that vibration happens differently in different materials, the fact that vibrations in different materials resonate very differently, and that's the physics principle of how the string is making the box and the air vibrate.
Exactly.
All of this, you're standardizing it so that instruments can be made so that different instruments or many instruments can sound the same.
So a guitar will always sound like a guitar.
That is super duper cool. Now, I spoke about resonance. Now, that's a little bit of a tricky topic for most people to understand. Let me get rid of that. But I have a wonderful experiment, all right? It can get a little dangerous, so I'm going to go run into that other studio and do that experiment. I'd like you to watch that along with all of our students. एक experiment करने वाला है about resonance, ठीक है? Resonance समझने के लिए. I'll quickly run there, and then I'll come back here and we'll explore so much more there is to it, all right? All right, just 2 minutes, I guess. Sure. All right, what do we have here? Safety first. Ears plugged. Ears safe. Let me put on the goggles in a bit. See, I have 2 glasses out here. This one seems to have a higher natural frequency. And using this computer of mine, I can generate sounds on the speaker. What am I going to try and do right now? I'm going to try and generate a sound that can make the glass resonate with it. Let me see what frequency that must be. That was spot on. Wait, let me go down. Its own resonant frequency. I know I was saying stuff when the sound was happening there, but do you realize this? At this particular sound frequency, this glass was resonating with the sound, this glass was not resonating with the sound. Let's make some fine-tune adjustments to get the frequency just right and see what's gonna happen. Isn't that amazing? Wow! Just because of resonance of that particular glass with the sound, the vibrations kept increasing to a point where the glass couldn't hold itself anymore. That was amazing. Why don't you see why this happened? Because we saw how this happened. Why don't you see why this happened? The BYJU'S way. And I'll go join Bindu and Mahesh.
If you've watched popular cartoons and comedy shows, you might have seen an opera singer shattering a glass with just their voice. But how exactly does sound break glass? Well, to answer that, we need to first understand a physical property called the resonant frequency. Simply put, every object in the universe has a unique resonant frequency, which is the frequency at which it naturally vibrates when a force is applied. This frequency depends on factors such as object size, shape, and material. However, it's the phenomenon of resonance that's responsible for breaking the glass. Let's understand resonance with the help of a swing. When we push a swing, it will oscillate at a certain frequency. If we apply a force to the swing in this manner, the force will reduce the energy of the swing's oscillation, causing the range of the swing's oscillation to reduce and eventually come to a stop. But if we push the swing at the right time, the force from our push will add to the energy of the swing and increase the range of its oscillations. When we apply a force to an object at its resonant frequency, its particles vibrate more energetically, leading to the phenomenon of resonance. Now let's see how this applies to shattering a glass with sound. If we play a sound at the resonant frequency of the glass, the sound adds more energy to the natural oscillations of the glass particles. If we increase the amplitude of the sound, the oscillation of the glass particles increases drastically. Over time, the energy of these oscillations becomes so large that the glass cannot hold its shape, resulting in the glass shattering.
Nice. Did you guys see that amazing experiment and the amazing
How do you
video? How do you like it?
I feel like I understand physics now.
That's what we try to do. Okay, we saw some amazing stuff all this while, but ये सब music बनाने में कहाँ मदद करता है यार?
So,
Well, there are a few more things I want you to wrap your head around.
Nice.
so remember that we said when you reduce the size of the air column or the string, the pitch goes up.
Yeah.
So that's how I play a guitar. So if I need to get a different note, if you see the lines, they're actually markers. For example, if I press here, it produces that exact frequency and that
Okay.
exact pitch. So by choosing where I place my finger, I'm playing different notes, and that's how a guitar works. So
Nice.
if I play a note here, I'm reducing the size to this much, resulting in a higher frequency, higher pitch. I play that note. But
Nice.
if I just play the entire string,
Much lower.
exactly.
Nice.
Now, let me play a series of notes for you. Yeah?
And I can sing the same thing. La 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 la.
That was so cool. So you guys played different notes over time.
Yeah, so when you combine notes like this, we play one note after another, you create something called a melody.
That was melodious.
So now, let's do something different. So now, I'll play the same thing. And
La 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 la. Did that sound the same or different, Ashwin?
It kind of sounded the same. You guys did the same notes, but how you spread it over time was very different. As in, you sort of extended some of the notes and truncated some of those notes.
yes, and that's what we call rhythm. So with every note, you can play it for a certain length of time. I can play a long note like this, or a short note like this.
Okay.
Yeah, so depending on how much you stretch the note for, you can create different rhythms.
That is so beautiful. So the same melody in different rhythms.
Exactly.
Nice. Wait, tell me something. If you're talking about notes and time, can I play many notes at the same time?
Exactly. So when you play multiple notes across the same time, you get a chord. So things like that.
That sounds so much richer, actually.
Exactly. We actually have a visual way of representing this. But let's, can we get the visual on the screen for the chords? So that is one note.
Okay.
Now, can we have the next visual on the screen?
That is so beautiful. This is like a nice visualization of exactly what we went through.
Exactly. So that is basically something we call a piano roll, but you can also call it a note-to-time graph of
Right.
sorts. Yeah? And can we
Oh, but
have...
when you vocalized it, it would have been different, right?
Exactly. So now...
Let's see if we can show you that.
Oh my goodness, that is so beautiful. I can see that different time or different rhythm. for the same.
Exactly. So now we were talking about chords, yeah? So now can we have that visual over there?
Oh, I see what we're doing here. Many notes, but also played in progression. So each of those many notes at the same time. makes a
Exactly.
chord.
So that is what we call a chord progression.
That is super beautiful.
Yeah.
So this is all happening because of those resonance and how they're kind of overlapping with one another.
Exactly.
I have another question for you, Ashwin. So you heard Mahesh play the same thing on the guitar. You saw it on the graphic representation, which is
Yes.
what some of our music software looks like, honestly.
Right, that's how the sound, the music team actually uses. So that's how we make digital music, by understanding how you can layer things and with time.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And you heard me sing. And when we were all singing the same notes in the same rhythm, if you, for example, closed your eyes and Mahesh played, and now Mahesh is going to play again, keep your eyes closed, la 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 la.
Wait, you said Mahesh is going to play again, but you...
How did you know?
How did I know that it was you? Or if that was happening in a flute, I would know it's a flute and not a guitar, not a vocalist. So there is some other quality that separates, that helps me identify what is making that sound.
Yeah, and we call that timbre.
Timber, like timber, and a tree falls down. That is so cool. So timber, what exactly is timber? So is that the musical quality or the sound quality that's unique to the thing that's producing it?
Yes, because like we discussed earlier, the timbre of the guitar comes from the material of the strings, it comes from the body of the instrument, the air column. When I'm producing sound or when you're producing sound
We're also an instrument, right? So the vocal cords are producing the sound, but the muscles and the mouth volute and all of that makes up the resonating components.
Exactly.
That is super amazing.
And
oh, wait. Okay, so this is another very interesting thing. You guys heard that sound? So we have not just one, not just tens, hundreds, thousands of us watching this. We have given one of our students an opportunity to speak with you directly and ask a question, all right?
ooh,
Okay.
This is the Spotlight segment of BYJU'S Excel. Could we have the student on, please?
Hi everyone, I'm Bhavaneshri. I'm from class 9. I'm from Mandya, and recently I'm very interested in music. So I have a question for you. If I want to pursue my career in music, so what steps I should take to pursue it? This is my question.
oh, I love that question. And you know, so many young people ask us that question quite often.
Often.
And
Always, actually.
Always. And I think the answer here is try to build as many skills as you can in different areas. Learn how to play instruments like the piano or the guitar. Learn how to sing. Learn how to create music, compose, songwrite. Learn how to use musical softwares like the one that we just saw. So keep building your skills.
Nice, interesting. So you guys did this whole chord and resonance and all that stuff. What's the next thing that we're going to do in music?
So you heard the chords,
Right.
and that was something called harmony.
Harmony, okay.
Right? But here's another way of representing it. Suppose I were to sing a line, and Mahesh was going to sing along with me.
Okay.
Okay? Let me sing a line for you simply first, and you listen to it. Bele mama, eh. Okay? Now I'm going to ask Mahesh to join in, but sing a slightly different line, and that's
Okay.
going to create what sounds like harmony. Ready,
Cool.
Mahesh?
Yeah.
Bele mama, eh. Bele mama, eh. Bele mama, Bele mama, Bele mama, Bele mama, Bele mama, Bele mama, eh.
Wow, I need to record this and play this for my daughter.
Now, I know that was a lullaby, but stay awake because we have more things planned for you.
That was so awesome. So you guys were doing the same words per se, but different melodies harmonizing with one another.
Exactly.
That was so cool. And that's how the layering happens to generate music.
Absolutely. And you know what?
It is time for us to go jam with the band.
Put in the comments if you want to see your wonderful teacher, Ashwin, make music with us.
I want to. Even if they don't comment, I will come and join the both
I'm going to
of
go
you.
get it ready for you.
यार इतना सही था मैं बस खो गया इस musical experience में. Let me summarize this whole segment just so that we know all the things that we explored really well, all right? We saw resonance, and we saw that every different material has its own natural or resonant frequency, right? And resonance was basically when one vibration can cause other objects to vibrate as well. And that usually increases the amplitude and gives uniqueness to each instrument. And that is what we saw as timbre, right? The quality of sound that makes it unique. Nice. And then we saw notes of different frequency. That's basically some vibration and all its accompanying vibrations that made a note. When note was played over time, that made a melody. And when the way it was distributed in time was changed, that created different rhythms or different arrangements of that melody. That was super duper amazing. And that whole harmony that came through was super exciting. I'm all the more excited to go join in with Bindu, Mahesh, and our band in the music jam. Yay!
All right, this is super exciting. Now, I know some of the concepts that we presented over there were a little heavy and loaded. Don't worry, you'll get there. Now, there you are.
That is
Welcome
so
back.
awesome. Yeah.
All right. So, wanted to tell you one more cool thing. Sometimes you don't even need instruments like the cool ones we have here to start making music. You can make music, you can make percussion sounds with your mouth.
Right. I have a friend who can beatbox. Is he around? Hey, there. Is that what you're talking about?
Alright.
Beatboxing?
Let's hear. Woo!
Oh, what a drop that was. Thank you, my man.
All
Is that what you
right.
were referring to?
That was really cool, but I was talking about Kunakol. Now, Kunakol is the South Indian classical or Carnatic way of saying percussive symbols with our mouth. Mahesh?
Yes. So I'm going to teach you some math. Are you fine with that?
Ooh, I like it. Math and music. So we saw words and phrases in music. Now we're getting into math
Exactly.
in music.
Yes. So what's the first thing we learn? We learn how to count, right?
1, 2, 3,
So
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
exactly. So we're going to be counting 1, 2, 3, 4 in Konakol. Are you ready for that?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Are you guys ready? By the way, I'm going to be learning this firsthand. You're learning this even closer than me because you're seeing it with you. So if you're holding your instruments in your hand, right, you might want to place them somewhere where you can still see and hear. And I need you to participate in this. Now, बच्चों देखना नहीं, घुस के participate करो. Yes.
So one beat is called ta. Can you repeat after me? Ta.
Ta.
Yes. Now 2 beats or the number 2 is represented as ta ka.
Ta ka.
Ta ka.
Ta ka.
Now the number 3 is represented by ta ki ta.
Ta ki ta.
Ta ki ta.
Ta ki ta.
Now 4 is ta ka thi mi.
Ta ka dhi mi.
Ta ka thi mi.
Ta ka dhi mi.
Great.
You guys do it along with us? Yes or no? So ta ka, ta ki ta, ta ka dhi mi.
Got that?
That was nice.
Okay.
That was easy.
Now, let's try something cool with this Konakol. Okay? I'll count in 4s. Do you remember what 4 was?
Ta ka dhi mi.
Great.
Perfect. So I'll say takadimi. And Mahesh will count in 3s, which are.
Ta ki ta.
And let's see where we land up. Okay? Listen carefully, guys.
Taki.
Takadimi, 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 ta.
Let's try that again.
Okay.
Okay.
Takadimi, 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 ta.
Hey, that was a little hard to follow, but then you guys are catching up after a particular pattern. That's something that I noticed.
So.
I see why this is the math in music. Interesting. So,
Exactly.
okay. So you did 4s. You did that, I think, 3 times.
Yes.
And you
Exactly.
did 3s, the guitar, but you did it 4 times.
Exactly.
And you guys matched up in your cycles at the 12th, which is the LCM of 4 and 3.
Exactly.
Brilliant. There
Nice.
you go.
Awesome.
Super duper. Did you guys see that? Can we do that once more, please?
Right.
Yes, let's do that with a visual so that you actually understand what's going on. So, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Takadimi, 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 ta.
That is so cool. So you end at the 12th count, and the next cycle, you guys start at the exact same point. Wow.
So kids at home, next time you're listening to music, see if you can find a rhythmic pattern that's going in your favorite song. Now, speaking of rhythmic patterns,
Which makes
Ashwin,
it very predictable.
yeah,
Yes.
can we teach you a rhythmic pattern to
I
say?
hope I can learn it.
Are
Yes,
you
please.
ready to try some konakol? So suppose we try a pattern that starts with 1, which is
Ta,
okay, and then we do 4.
takadimi,
Okay, let's do that 3 times,
takadimi, takadimi, takadimi,
and then 1 again.
ta.
Okay, so it's going to sound like this. So we'll go ta takadimi 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 ta, and if we loop it, it'll go ta takadimi 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 ta ta takadimi 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 ta.
Ta,
Exactly.
takadimi, takadimi, ta. Am I good learner?
You are fabulous. Okay, I feel like I can hear the voices of the students at home doing this. I know I can't really, but I know that they're doing it with us in spirit.
Yes, yes. Kar rahe ho na? Oh, they are doing it. Some of them are saying amazing sessions happening and we are trying to do the same things. Nice, nice, nice. Go for it.
Brilliant. Okay, now I'm going to request our beautiful band back here to do konakol with us as well. We'll get to the instruments, but let's try doing this konakol together, all of us.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay. So
and before that, have you heard of something called superhero claps?
Superhero claps.
You look like a superhero. You can do a superhero clap, okay? It's going to be 4 counts, and it's like this. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lovely. Can you see that this is a predictable pattern, right? Nice pattern. Now, Mahesh, let's add our konakol pattern on top of it.
okay.
Takadimi, 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 ta, takadimi, 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 ta. Ashwin, jump in.
Takadimi, takadimi,
Takadimi, ta, takadimi, 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 ta, takadimi, 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 ta, takadimi, 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 ta. Now keep this going. Keep the clapping going.
Takadimi, takadimi, takadimi.
What happens if we start adding instruments on top of it?
Takadimi, takadimi.
I'm going to ask first the piano.
Takadimi, 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 ta, ta, takadimi, 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 ta.
And now the guitar. And then the bass. And even the drums. And now the iPad. In comic books and video games, superheroes fly away. Let's be real, who needs a cape? Let's get together and save the day. Pada pada sada sari sari. Pada pada sada sari sari kari takadimi tam takadimi tam takadimi tam. Don't use plastic, teach some kids. Marvel at the good you did. Don't waste food, compost too. There's so much more that you can do. Pada pada sada sari sari kari. Pada pada sada sari sari kari. Takadimi tam takadimi tam takadimi tam.
So awesome! It was so mesmerizing what each one was doing. I just got lost in that iPad stuff. Wow, what a beautiful song that was. Superhero claps. Oh, did you guys have fun as well? Okay, in the snapshot that we're going to send you after this session, right, we are going to give you quite a few things that you can take away, all right? And ये season finale tha, so all of us keep in mind, we're going to have another season coming up. I need your feedback so that I understand all of this better, all right? All right, that was super duper. Shall we wrap this? Once more? Once more, all of you?
All right.
All right, everybody, join in with us.
Takadimi, 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 tam. Takadimi, 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 tam. Takadimi, 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 tam. Takadimi, 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 tam. Takadimi, 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 tam. Takadimi, 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 takadam. Takadimi, 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 tam. Takadimi, 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 tam. Takadimi, 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 tam. Takadimi, takadimi, takadam.
These guys are super duper awesome. This was an awesome session. इतना कुछ सीखा यार. Thank you Bindu, thank you Mahesh, thank you BYJU'S band. Thank you everybody for being such awesome learners. Session season 2 आने वाला है. I hope you have amazing fun learning and keep in mind fall in love with music as well. अरे अभी चलो एग्जाम के लिए पढ़ाई करो. We'll see you guys soon. Wow!